Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Thursday 17th of June, and as you know from yesterday, we'd been looking at wave 1 and 2 here of intermediate degree and going up for wave 3 of intermediate degree, and we're quite close to a top here, and this is the same for the US markets as well here. So let's cruise into the intraday, the 4-hour chart here. So, in a nutshell, as you may know, we're looking from wave 3 here and wave 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 here and 4 here, and then looking for wave 5 here. So we're looking for a top here of 5 of 5 of 5. Is that in? Well, I don't have any evidence of that. I'll need to see a nice little impulse wave to the downside to determine that. And that's what we may get shortly. So we just need that 5 waves down, and then we can look to short below that or on the corrective rally of that there on the B wave under here. So yeah, I mean, there is a big account here that we could look at wave 1 and the top here as wave 3 over here. But we can see that well, the banks need to go further up, so we could push higher up. We know the resources are softer because the Australian dollar is down as well, so we know all of that. We know the US 10-year bond yields have spiked up with the US dollar, so that's putting pressure on, well, quite a few markets actually. So yeah, so that top can be in place there. So let's just cruise in a little bit further to the hourly chart. So yeah, from the low here, we talked yesterday of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then counting up here for wave 5. So wave 1 here looks pretty cool to me with an ABC here. Wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, yeah, maybe it gets a little bit sort of dodgy in here for this wave 5, maybe able to go over here. This move up here, is that too short, or do we see, or will we see sort of 3, 4 and 5 going up here for this and then topping out? I'm not quite sure how that's going to play out, but what I do know is we don't have that impulse wave down from the top yet, that 5 wave structure. Now Thursday can be a day that opens higher or not, but trades lower for the day. So let's see if it trades lower, and if we get 5 waves down from this point here, because if we do get 5 waves down, then we'll be looking for the retest, but it will give us that at base level, it will give us that entry point here. Like I said, there may be a B wave here, so we can move it up into that space. And then we don't even know if it comes down from that point, but if it does, we'll be sort of onto it at that point, you know. So we've been looking for a top all last week and this week. Do we have it in place here? We'll see. You know, I need some evidence on the downside for that. That's all. We don't have this trade in here anymore, so we took profit there and moved the stop up and done all the right things at the right time. Well, pretty much. Near enough is good enough. Not really. It's not good enough. We've got to be pretty spot on. Nice to be spot on anyway. So yeah, we'll use these for our short positions over here, but we don't have that in play yet, you know. And looking at the banks, starting with ANZ, look, it might drop from this point. We did get 5 waves up here, but the problem is that we never took out the top here. Not that it has to in Elliott terms, it just needs to give us 5 waves there. So I was a bit curious to see if this was all up for wave 1 here and 2 here, and then going up for 3, you know, having a better, you know, a move up here further, which I think is the case. Yesterday's volume was, the price was up, but the volume was lower, so that's divergence. If it was a corrective pattern, if it was lower on lower volume, then it would be bullish corrective. But in this case, but this does appear to be in 3 waves here rather than 5 waves, so I'm kind of happy with it being wave 2 or 4 here for that. So yeah, let's just see how that plays out. here. We're not in this. We had a bit of a trade from here up to here somewhere. Yeah, let's see how that goes. And CommBank is cranking up as kind of expected. Yeah, so we're still looking for the top of the third wave here. Let's just check on the volume here. It's a little, oh no, it's nice strong volume, but the range was a bit smaller. So that's the range compared to the previous day. So we're looking for this to fold back. So it'll probably become weaker today. We'll just see how that plays out today. I don't want to trade. I talked about trading long here because this was a corrective pattern, but I didn't want to do it as sort of officially by putting a green line through there because I didn't think it had far to go, because I know the indices didn't have far to go. Okay. Okay. So over to the commodities. So iron ore, let's have a look at China first. So China's moved a little bit further down. We can look at this as an A and a B, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for this. So it looks like it's falling out of bed here on this. So that means that it potentially can come down to 15,000. Yeah, so from this low to this high here, the 50-60% retracement levels here. So if we see another sort of a good solid move through here, something reasonable, then we know that will come further down at that point, and then we can call this in. Technically, we can't call it in corrective until this low is breached. So we'll just see how that plays out at that point. But if this is going to move down through here, then Chinese had some figures coming out yesterday, didn't they? Their retail figures and all the rest of it. I didn't see that. Or was it today? I'm not sure. But it's not a big interest to me personally. So, but it would be good to have a look at those. The retail ones would be the important figures. I think they were looking at 14% on that. So if it's above or below that, well then it will be what it will be. But obviously that affects the whole consumer chain of events, and the Chinese really want to push all the metal prices down. That's their aim. They can't operate. All the manufacturers have been wholesalers have been taken up the slack for the financial slack before hitting the retail market. But how long that will go on for, I don't know. So iron ore. So yeah, I mean, iron ore's kind of interesting because the move that I've got down from the top here is in 3 waves, as I've been mentioning. And the move up here can be counted as 5 waves and up to the 50-60% to the 61.8% in the box. And we could look at it as wave 1 or wave A. If as wave 1, we'd look at this as wave 2 here. And as a B wave here, as an A and a B and a C wave here for this. It could go up a bit higher, and still be corrective as a nice C wave coming up through here to the 78.6 retracement level rather than the 61.8%, and then come down from that point. It could do that. It could have a 3-wave move here, 3-wave move here, and then a 5-wave move here for that. So it's a bit tricky in going long. There looks like there's good support here. We'll go to the tick chart and just hash that over a little bit. I think it's important to go over this here, that this is definitely in 3 waves here. This is definitely a bullish corrective pattern. I don't know, because it's got the ABC here, will it go up for 1 here, back for 2 in blue here, and then continue to move higher in that case, So we could put this wave 1 sitting here, put that wave C over there, and wave 2 here. So yeah, I just don't know. I mean, an A and a B and a C wave here, or 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. It's pulled back down to the 50-60% retracement level here. It makes a nice ABC pattern here, pulling back into the box, the 50-60% from this move here to this move, an A and a B and a C here for this. So it looks like it's impulsive from that point. So it looks like it can move up further. That will give them a bit of a shock. That will pull back here first and, you know, continue up there in the next 5 waves. So we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, that will keep things reasonably steady. The crude market, I haven't seen that. I think it was softer, yeah, only 1% though. So I was looking for a bit of a top and a turn at $72. You know, I'm a bit keen on 72. So we're seeing that turn there now. Let's just see how that plays out. But if that pulls down, that's obviously going to put pressure on BHP and any oil stocks of, you know, or move with the stock market basically. And the stock market, we're also looking, you know, as I showed Google this morning, or Alphabet, you know, as 1 and 2 and 3 here. That's how the US markets are, exactly like this. So and that's what crude is as well. So if the stock is going to go down, then crude's going to go down as well. And we're getting that spike in the US 10-year bond yields as well. So yeah, pressure all around. The copper market, we were looking at that. We're looking at everything on the weekly chart yesterday. So that's just a reminiscence of that. So it's possible for this to pull down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here for this. 10,000. I should just upgrade that level there to a major level, because that's what it is. Number 1, strongest number in the market. So, you know, we can expect that market to play out there. Actually, we should have a look at the COMEX one. Yeah, this is COMEX on the 4-hour chart here for futures. It's the same thing here as well. It looks like from this top here, we've got 1 and 2 here, and 3. This is all the 3rd wave here, so a 4th wave and a 5th wave. So this is looks like it's got further to play out here for this. Coming back to this wave 4 here. So this copper here, continuous current contract, I'm not sure what that's traded on actually. What's this one? It's 10,000. They're all different countries and different things. But yeah, same pattern. So whatever market that you're looking at, it's the same pattern. So this is probably going to come down further. If I go to the was it the 4-hour chart? Yeah. So I was looking at it like this here, you know, as an ABC pattern. But then yesterday we looked at the weekly, didn't we? So it does appear that this is going to be out of, don't need that. I'm wondering if this is 1 and 2, or I mean, I looked at it before, wasn't it? We had this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So look, I may be right here. Let's just see how that plays out. We've either got a low in place, or we're going to see some sort of rally and then further downside. So I'll just leave that there for the moment. But we're aware of that bigger picture, which will bring us down to this correction, you know. Because I mean, I had this extra wave in here, counting this up through here. We had this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I was looking for the 4th wave, which hasn't overlapped wave 1 yet. So maybe I'll just put that back there. Just a quirky little thing, you know. just be a little bit mindful of that. I'll just keep this here for a moment, shall we? But we're aware that we just need to be aware that this wave 5 of 3 here can already be in place. It's okay if that holds and makes a new high here, then we can run with that. But if it makes a new low here, then we know that we'll have to be looking at this wave 4 here. So also golds, the bonds, the yields are the gold's worst enemy. And let's just have a look at the yields here for a moment. Let's just go back. Give me a second here. So, no, we don't want that one. We want this watch list. Just to sort of bring you in the picture here a little bit. This is a 4-hour chart, and this is the 10-year yields, right? So this little spike up through here has placed pressure on gold and also the stock market as well. So yeah, I think that we need to be a little bit careful about this. I've been counting this to the upside here, and we've had this wave 3 and looking for an ABC for wave 4 here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, so it's possible for this to continue up here, as wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So how much pressure that's going to place on the gold market, we'll need to be aware of. Okay, so while we're here on this, the US dollar indexes popped up as well, so that's also placing pressure on the Australian dollar and other currencies. But I see that turning soon, because I was looking at all of this as corrective here into the box for wave 2. So that should top and turn, and once that does top and turn, then we can look at being long in the Australian dollar for that. But what I want to do here is just go back to the metals in this charting program and go to GDX. So with GDX here, the move to the upside on GDX, we were looking at it yesterday like wave 1 here and 2 here, and wave 1 here and 2 here for this, and then wave 1 here and wave 2 coming back into the 50-60% retracement level area here. So we've either got that, or we need to count this up as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 1 here, and then a deeper pullback for wave 2 here. So I don't know which is the right one, but when I look at the US bond yields, 10 years, then it looks like this could be certainly in the race, pulling back here for this lower. I mean, the worst case scenario really is that all of this move down through here, as wave A down here, and then a wave B back up here. But the problem with that is that I've got 5 waves here, I mean, I could count this ABC for the A wave here, and then a B wave here, and a C wave here, and then there's a bit of equality between A and C. That's possible. Anyway, I need to give this a little bit more thought, but this is how I was looking at Newcrest Mining and also GDX. So we need to look at US spot gold in the same vein as well. So that said, let's just have a look at gold while we're here, spot gold. So just on the daily chart here, it's fallen lower than I expected. Now, it's still okay. I could still have the old count, but we don't want to see it going down past the 1800 at all, because then it'll overlap the top of this one here. But that wave 3 is not the problem. But before, I had this as wave 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2, and then a third wave up here, because that's how it looks. So I know that commodities have extensions in the third wave. In the 5th wave quite often. So it's possible to count it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, but I'll need to go over that. But if that's the case, this is the worst case scenario. This this box here, we don't want this box becoming the retested resistance, because if that's the case, then we're going to be going lower at that point. And then we would have to look at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here for a larger B wave. And we'll have to move this across over here. We'll have to move this over to here. This would go here, and this would go over here. Some larger bearish pattern coming into play at that point. So yeah, that's what we need to, I'll just copy this here for that. So this is going to require a little bit more thought. So we'll get back to you on that one. Let's just cruise in and have a look at, well, the Australian dollar, copper. So yesterday we were looking at this as either an A, B, C, D, and E here. So for the D wave, we're looking at an A and a B and a C wave here, but that's not the case now. So we can bring that to one side. The other count that had was coming down here further, in line with copper. So that has broken lower here. And this trend line means sort of jack, really. We need to understand this move in here a little bit more here. It's probably not going to finish off in 3 waves here, so there's probably more to this as well here. And we know the US dollar is spiking up, so we'll have a look at the other side of the US dollar. Don't need that, we don't need that. So there'll be something down here for this. Don't need that. So I'll need to understand this, which is a little bit sort of complicated here, and there'll probably be a couple of ways to count that. But it shouldn't go too far, you know, coming down to the 75 here, because this is in 3 waves here, then we've got some sort of triangle or flat correction or something. So it shouldn't go too far. It'd come down. I'll put this at the 75 where it really belongs. So yeah, I won't put that up there. That's not quite right. But yeah, it can move lower into the 75 area through here. And this doesn't look like it's finished off here for this. Also looking at gold, we should look at new crest while we're here. So we can expect this to move lower now with this. That trade wasn't triggered, so we can take that out of the way. It's really sitting on this trend line here, but today yesterday it popped through there, of course. So today it's going to move through there. So if you wanted to exit, then this would be the time to do it. Okay, so just saying, because we could end up down here for that. If you've got leverage, well then that's going to be a problem for you, you know. Like I said, I've got skin in the game here, but I've just got stock, so I don't really care. So yeah, I don't think this 1 and 2 business is in play here now, because that's going to drop further. So that means that we'd have to put wave 1 up here and wave 2 here for this. And we need to, we don't need this and this, don't need that. And I'll keep these here. We put these, I'll get the rest of them coming in here. So it's probably looking like this now. Or at least it's sorted it out in one way or another. So we'll be looking for an ABC back into this box here. Let's just check that is okay there. Yeah, it's pretty good. Move that across the time it gets there. So yeah, that can drop lower there. So you'll just need to be... Well, next time we'll look at the ABC correction through here as well. We'll start working on this move here. I don't really think that's the high. I think that's the high, this one here. Yeah, sort of as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, something weird in here anyway. So, but we'll pull that apart and have a closer look at that. So let's just have a look at the BHPs and Rios of the world. See how they're faring out. So first of all, we'll look at BHP in the US, and that was down a little percentage. So we went over all the weekly charts yesterday. So the thing here is that there's a good case for this counting as 5 waves up there. So, you know, initially I just put the 5th wave there, which I don't think is the case because it's a bit short. But it does, you can count 5 waves out of it. So it's possible to call it wave 1 in there and coming back for wave 2. So the wave 2 would be at the 50-60% retracement level, which is really on the first low here. So it looks like that's going to be breached at that point. So that means that we will have to probably count this up as corrective. If this moves, if this continues to move lower through here, then we'll have to look to put wave 4 over here for this and look at this as an A and a B and a C. Now, because it took the top out here just, that means it can take the low out here as an expanded flat. So that brings it down to 65 here, which is a medium level in this case. So we'll just copy this because it's going to become important here now. If you wanted to short this, you could do the weekly robo method, which is just basically shorting it now and putting the stop above the weekly top here. It's also a switch setup as well, which is on our website, so you can look. It's pretty simple, but it's a little bit tricky, so it's good to watch the videos on the switch. Yeah, so trading BHP on a weekly basis is fine, you know. Let's just go to the daily chart here for a moment, get a bit more perspective. So I was looking at it as wave 1 here as a possibility and wave 2 here, and then we're looking for an impulse wave up there. But if this breaks through the low here, then it's moved through the 61.8%, and then we'll have to bring, we'll do that now. We'll swap these guys over to put more emphasis on this one here. And that means that we would probably be looking at a much deeper correction. So I'm not quite sure how this could play out. It could be that we've got this down as wave 1 and back for wave 2 here, and we'll be looking at 3, 4, and 5 here for this. So that's a real possibility. That's why if you wanted to go short now, then this is the time to do it. But technically you won't know that's the case until this is taken out here for that. But if you do short, then you'll need to leave a stop above there. Probably half a position would be better at that point. And of course this is also going to lead through to our Australian BHP as well. So we already talked about this yesterday, as well as 1 and 2 here and 3 here, an A and a B and a C here for wave 4. So you could also short, if you wanted to short this, then just do it on the weekly chart and keep the stop above the weekly high. And the idea would just be continued after next week, just to bring it, you know, down. Just keep bringing the stop down on top of the weekly bar each time. It could be a bit stressful if you've put too much money in the market, but yeah. And this also here, looking at 1 and 2 here and 3 and 4 and 5 here, also taking the top out here creates that expanded flat correction. And this would be in line with stock and what we're expecting in the stock market. So yeah. It's interesting though that this is wave 3 here already, and oil has just gotten to its wave 3. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq are just at its wave 3. So it's like the commodities are running in front of the market. If that's the case, then that's going to be very helpful for later on as well. Okay, we'll be able to use that. And Rio, yes, we're also looking at Rio from wave 4 here. This is a weekly chart as 1 and 2 and 3 here, because that's 5 waves in that move there, and then an A and a B and a C for wave 4, and then up for wave 5. So we could have a top in place for Rio here as well. So if you wanted to short Rio, then this would be the bar to do it on. This one here, you'd need that breached. Okay. And then, of course, the stop would go above this bar here for that, if you wanted to short that on the weekly bar. So, FMG. Yeah, we'd also talked about this yesterday too, turning and moving lower into this space. So nothing new here as well. If you wanted to short this on the weekly, then you'd need to keep the stop above the top there. So we're looking for a top in the ASX. We're looking for a top in the banks. The banks can move a little bit higher, and they really control the ASX to a point. So we'll see if the resources are going to drop lower here as well. Yeah, all right. I'm chewing up too much time, so I'll just leave it at that. Just thinking if there's anything important I've missed. No, I'll just leave it at that for the time being. Alrighty, cheers.